Good morning, everybody. So, I recorded a video this morning, and it's like an hour long, and I thought, well, you know what? It's gonna take 3 days to upload from my phone, so I'm just gonna do little ones of my thoughts, and just keep adding them to this channel. I don't know who will watch this. I don't care. I'm just going to consider this a journal for my journey. Gosh, I've lived so much. Like, I've gone through so much in my life. And while none of it was self-inflicted, it was allowed. You know what I'm saying? Like I allowed it. I allowed stuff to happen to me. I allowed people to get away with it because of my fears. Because of my fears. And the fear that they instilled in me, that they put into me. Well, you know, if this is this and that's that, then this could happen, you know, like all kinds of things. You know, when you don't really want that, do you? Well, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna give up a little comfort for a greater reward. But for some reason, it didn't process in my head like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose everything that I've worked for up to this point. You know, everything that I deserve. You know, I'm going to lose it. There's this thing that's been on my mind the past few days. Well, actually, it's been on my mind pretty much since my grandfather passed away. But especially these past few days, it's something that I guess I've got to deal with, and haven't really had too much progress in doing so, because I'm thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? And like, I know that we're told don't think too long about something, or you know, you won't do something. But here's the thing, that's wrong, number one. Number two, the time that we actually do take to think about something is not long enough, because we give it just enough time to observe consequences, what we might lose, you know, instead of looking at the whole picture of what we have to gain, if we stand up for it, you know. And so this thing that I've been thinking about, that I've been processing, you know, is about a certain someone who was given a responsibility to carry out someone's wishes, and was trusted to do so. And this person wouldn't get what he felt was his rightful deserving, or whatever. I don't know what it would be called, compensation, I guess, for all that he was, for all that he did, you know. And decided to feed my weaknesses so that he could gain more than he is entitled to. My weakness being fear of loss of something that I didn't even fucking have yet. Seriously. You know, looking back on it is kind of ridiculous, right? But in the moment, it was like this. Like, you know, I just lost someone very special to me, and that someone had come to some realizations just before he passed away, and expressed them to me, which kind of, you know, put the red flag up for me with regards to this person that was trusted with this responsibility. And then this person claimed to have integrity and be an honest man and be a fair man. And I don't know what book he's measuring himself by, because he's not proven that to me in any way, shape, or form. And look, I've taken the past year to evaluate that. I was okay with just laying down and being like, you know what, I was wrong, I was being greedy, I was this, I was that, it was all my fault, right? I was okay with that. But my spirit was not. And it kept nagging at me. My spirit kept nagging at me about this thing. Are you serious? Are you serious? God's trying to give you something for what you've done, for the selflessness you've displayed, for He's trying to glorify Himself through you, and you're just going to let someone go and steal that. Well, I don't know what else to do. I really don't. All I can say is this person is a liar. This person is a cheater, and his gain through deception will catch up with him. He mentioned karma to me all the time. As a matter of fact, one of the conversations that we had, I had done something to protect myself and my interests, and somehow in that conversation, he managed to convince me that I was wrong for doing that. That I was wrong for doing that. And that he's entitled to all that I don't get because of that. So, God always gets His gifts to the intended receiver. Okay? He always does. He always does. Because this person is not the person who did the work, who sacrificed. Let's just say this. This person is making decisions for someone who set up a plan based on information. Okay, so the person who's rewarding me, okay, who gave me stuff via several documents, legal documents, okay, one which was just tossed to the side because it was questionable. Oh my gosh. So this person had so much information, okay? Like, he based his decisions and his will on what he knew, okay? The information he had, okay? Now, the person who was entrusted to carry out these wishes took it upon himself to correct these decisions based on the limited information that he had. Because he doesn't know what I went through. He doesn't know what my grandfather knew about him. Okay? He doesn't know. See, my grandfather never got intimate with this guy. And I'm not talking sexually intimate. So don't go there. Okay? Like, my grandfather was the kind of guy that you never saw cry. He was a hard ass. You know, he was he was tough. You know, he had this freaking fortress wall around him, you know, and you couldn't get inside to know what he's really feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, he never showed any emotion or anything like that, right? But he did with me. Like, the last 2 years of his life, I got to know a man that they still haven't hit it on the head who he is. They talk badly about him. They say, oh, well, he was wrong in this and he was wrong in that, and so I'm entitled to this and I'm entitled to that, and he said this and he said that, but not his will doesn't fucking say that, and neither does that piece of paper that you threw to the freaking side. You know, look, okay, so in this is the prime example of what we do with the Bible. Okay? This is the prime example. Well, God doesn't know me. God fucking made you. All right? God made you. So if you think that Bible does not pertain to you, then something is, you know, missing here. You know, your spirit. Your freaking spirit. You have let the world shit on your spirit so much you don't even want to freaking look at it. You don't even want to look at it. Why? You know why? Because you got to struggle. So anyways, I struggled with this. And you know what? I've come to the conclusion that, I don't know, maybe one day he'll see this video. If not, then I've got a letter to write. But I know what he did. And I know who he is. And he ain't nothing like he said he was. He's nobody that he said he was. He doesn't have integrity. He doesn't have honesty. He is very capable of deceit and fear-mongering, which is exactly what he did to me. He did to me. And he lied. Oh my gosh, he lied on so many occasions. You know, and I could point out everything that he freaking lied about, but I'm not going to get into freaking details. This person knows what he lied about. And he didn't just lie to me. He lied to my grandfather. You fucking idiots. So, he lied to my grandfather. These people are driving on the road and then they just stop. And then they get out and tell me to go around. Seriously? But anyways. Like, oh my gosh. So no. I'm not letting that go. This person was given the minimum because that's what he gave my grandfather. Everybody else was given nothing because that's what they gave my grandfather. I was given most because that's what I gave my grandfather. Man, I put my whole life on hold. Shit was piling up on me. The fucking law came after me after he passed away, and I popped up out of the middle of freaking nothing. You know? So, you tell me that I didn't freaking sacrifice for my grandfather. Now, was I expecting anything in return? No, I genuinely enjoyed his company. I genuinely enjoyed our talks. I loved that he opened up to me. You know, I mean, there's so much. Like, I didn't have to persuade him to do anything. You know, I'm a freaking grandchild. You know, there's no way in hell that I could persuade an 85-year-old man, okay, to do my bidding. First of all, and second of all, I didn't have any desire for it. You know, my desire was to make sure that my grandfather was able to die at home like he wanted to. And to make sure that he was happy and free and clear of everything. You know? That he was happy and free and clear. That he had forgiveness in his heart, and that he had no regrets about his life. You know, that he had actually dealt with everything. That's what I wanted for him. I just wanted him to die happy. You know? I wanted him to be content with his life. Because that man was a great man. Hard as he was, He was a great man. Did he make mistakes? Is he fucking human? Yes, he made mistakes. But he doesn't have to make up for those fucking mistakes. He doesn't have to make up for those mistakes. He tried to make up for those mistakes, but guess what? Every single time he reached out, they fucking bit him. They bit him. And I don't mean that in a literal sense. I mean that in the sense of, they did something, they disrespected him, or they did something wrong to him or something. Like, they were just wrong for it. So, they bit him. And this person here that was given the responsibility, I guess he fails to see the stuff that he did get from my grandfather every single time he came. Every single time he came, my grandfather was handing him money to do something, to fix this, to fix that, whatever. I never got any fucking money. I got a roof over my head and food in my stomach in exchange for happiness. For happiness. Oh, and that's not all I got. I also got a rack up of freaking bills. I also got an exclusion from my children's lives. Complete exclusion. And it wasn't because he said no. It was because I didn't want to bring the trouble around him. I didn't want any trouble around him. So for 2 years, I got to live clean. Clean. Like no sinning, no baggage, no nothing. Okay, I got like a bubble over my head for 2 years. I got to get to know God. I got to help my grandfather get to know himself and God. I got to do all of these things, and I'm so grateful for it. I am so grateful for it. So if I get nothing out of this, I got everything. I got everything. Even the knowledge of, none of my family is trustworthy. None of them. Well, okay, I take that back. My brother, love my brother to death. He's, he means well. He's kind of fucked up in the head, but who's not? Who's not? But I thought there was another family member. For a little while I did. Honestly believed it. He was nice. We were getting to know each other and everything. But it wasn't until he started making promises that he went backwards on, that I realized he's not who he said he was. Talk is cheap. Very, very cheap. Talk is cheap. Even when he was taking stuff that he knew didn't belong to him from me and instilling fear in me. Like, I had a threat. And yeah, I'm going to tell the whole freaking world. I don't care what you do or what you say. This is the way it went down. And you would keep me in fear so that you can make sure that I don't get the rest of what I'm entitled to. If you want to go by what he said before he died, then go with that. I'm okay with it because I still gained a lot in his words. If you want to go with what he said just in the will alone, I'm okay with that. But you got some shit to fucking return, dude. Or pay for it. One or the other. And if you want to go with the document that states that property is mine and throw it out, and you want to go with the what is it that the term that he said, the term that he said was undue influence. undue influence. Well, let's do undue influence on that document, because if that's the case, then it was under undue influence that you came and claimed stuff that, according to the will, is mine as the executor of the estate. So I'm tired of you fear-mongering me. I'm not scared anymore. I don't care what you think you can fucking do. I'm not even calling it. Okay? I'm not even calling it. Don't claim to be something that you're not. Because gain by that comes with some pretty high consequences. I'm just saying. So, this is weighed heavy on my mind. I thought, yeah, I'm just being greedy, I'm just being this, I'm just being that. And like, you know, I had to process over and over and over just the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to process, I had to go and I had to separate all that was being fed me verbally, physically, whatever. I had to take that and push that aside, and then I had to just look at the facts, you know, with nothing around them, nothing to dirty them or splatter them or anything like that, just the facts. So what does the will say? This is what the will says. Okay, what did he say? Well, this is what he said. So that goes separate because that contradicts this. And then what does this say? Well, this says this, but he's saying that this is due to undue influence. Well, I'm sorry, but there is nothing, no fucking document anywhere, and there's no doctor anywhere that can possibly say that he was under undue influence when he did what he did on his freaking own. The only thing that I did was type the shit out to him and show it to him, and then go and type it again because I didn't word it right, and then go and type it again because I missed something that he told me to put in it. And then the final document, he read the entire thing and he says, yes, I'm taking this to the bank and I'm going to get it notarized. So what fucking influence did I have? Oh, maybe the undue influence is, hang on just a second, let's process this for a minute, okay? My undue influence is letting a man that they feel don't deserve to die happy or free from the mistakes that he made in his life, which he did pay for. He absolutely did. He lost his fucking kids, number one. But he gained so much in the end. You know, it reminds me of a story in the Bible called about Job. See, so Job had all this stuff, right? He had everything, and then all of a sudden, the devil came and smite him down, made him sicker than a freaking dog. You know, took his kids, took his home, claimed everything. The devil did this to Job. A righteous man. A man who was not greedy with what he had. He was selective in who he shared it with because, well, we have to be. Because look, sometimes when you share with your brother, you're doing more harm than good. And by that I mean is like, okay, so look. Well, let's just say you got a brother who's on drugs, right? You give him a roof over his head, money starts passing away from you, and you know you didn't spend it, and he's getting worse. He's starting to come up against you in your own home. Okay? And I'm speaking from experience here. He's starting to come up against you in your own home. But because you're blood and because you love him, you gotta keep a roof over his head. You gotta keep helping him. You're a Christian. You gotta forgive your brother 7 times 77, 7, whatever that says. Okay? No. I'm not calling the book a lie. I'm calling our perception of what he said a lie. Okay? We are not required to be fucking doormats for all who would destroy us, for all who would consume us. Let me put it that way, for all who would consume us. We didn't get where we were so that we could help someone stay in the dark where they are. We didn't get that way. We didn't get that way from the dark. In the dark. Okay, no, we came to the light and we did what we had to freaking do. My grandfather did feel some guilt. For a little bit, he was scared of death. He had no idea what he would face when that day came. But he was ready to go all at the same time. It's like, he knew he had lived a good life. He'd done everything that he could think of to do, that he wanted to do. He built a house. He had some land. He built tons of motorcycles and cars and buildings, and like he lived a full life. He had a great wife, after he had a horrible wife, and he had 4 great kids that were just severely screwed up, misguided. And they don't even know where it came from. They blame him, but they made the choices. And that's what's messed up. It's really freaking messed up. Like, look, I can't blame my parents for all the shit that I've gone through in my life. And trust me, I didn't start my life out very good. I mean, witnessing your father getting murdered by your mother is not a good way to start your fucking life. But I gotta tell you, God had me from the moment I was conceived. God had me. He knew me. And somehow I knew of him. I knew there was somebody there. And I hung on to that. The world was not showing it to me at all. At all. The world was not in church, not on TV, certainly not in my family. Me, I was just a pocketbook for some of my family members. But I'm not going to sit here and talk badly about other people. My childhood, no, I couldn't help anything that was happening to me. What I could do, and did do apparently, was hang on to my spirit. I hung on to it because that's what God gave me. That is God. That is God. That is God. According to Jesus, the kingdom of heaven is inside of you. Where is your spirit? Inside of you. Who gave you that spirit? God. Not Satan. God. Not the world. God gave you that spirit according to Ecclesiastes. So, I've hung on to honesty. I've hung on to truth. I've hung on to integrity.